Oh dear, another depressingly familiar sight in an 8-track tape. These things can be a bit of a pig to get apart. Sometimes you find, like this one, that they're held in by 5 clips, which you get out from underneath. 3 of the clips you may well find are hidden away beneath a label on the back here. Sometimes there are 3 clips on top, again hidden away below a label, but you can usually, with something as old as this, make out where they are quite easily. Others had a rivet through the middle here made of alloy, and that has to be carefully drilled out before you can begin dismantling the tape cartridge itself. And yet others had a rather civilized system called a screw. Yes, why didn't they make them all like that? And why didn't they make them all with the nice little spring-loaded felt pads? A bit like the ones on a reel-to-reel tape recorder were, or the better cassettes. So that the tape was pressed snugly against the head for best signal. Well, on an 8-track, this foam stuff serves 2 purposes. It keeps the tape pressed firmly against the head here, and it keeps it firmly pressed against the sensor here. And the sensor is what tells the machine when to throw the solenoid to move the head up and down to play the next track. Now you can see the state that that foam is in. Very, very dangerous indeed to play one of these like that. As you can probably tell, this is on a continuous loop. The tape comes from here, past the sensor, past the playhead, through the capstan and pinch roller assembly. Notice the pinch roller is inside the cartridge rather than the machine, like a cassette or a reel-to-reel. Different sort of thing. Same size tape as a reel-to-reel, but that's about as similar as you get. And then it winds back onto the spool. So if you get any foreign objects, such as bits of foam that's gone like sticky gingerbread being wound into it, it's disastrous. The tape is moving at a steady 3 3/4 inches per second. It's about 10.5 centimeters, I think. The spool, as you see, is of course bigger on the outside than it is on the inside. So the tape has to be able to slip past itself as it's winding in. And to do this, they used to coat the underside of it with graphite. That's fine and dandy till you get a foreign object like a piece of gingerbready, gungy foam go in there. It then snags, and that's when the darn things eat the tape, or it just ceases to play. That's the end of that. Why did they use bloody foam? Probably for reasons of cheapness. I can't think of any other reason. Even some of the cassettes used to use it. Even Philips were guilty of it. The great god of cassettes themselves. Now, back to this horrible piece of foam. All it is a piece of cardboard, there's no magnetic shield even, with a bit of foam stuck to it. So, we can put that in the garbage, I think. And what I've done here, I've got this. Good God, he's gone nuts. No, I haven't gone nuts. This is a reel of self-adhesive draft excluder, and it just happens to be the right width. It's shiny on top with a plastic fill, there's foam underneath, and it's self-adhesive. And I've stuck it to a strip of paper, cardboard, from a Kellogg's cornflakes packet. Simple as that. Now, before I install this, I'm going to make sure there's no traces of any of that gingerbready gunge. We don't want that going inside the machine and inside the cartridge, Because that's the other thing, if it gets on the capstan and you put a good cartridge in it, that could go down the pan too. Right, got rid of that, and then we slip this in, the replacement, in its stead. Can be a bit of a pig to do. There's a pin in the middle that it goes under, and two at the end, at the extreme ends of the card, go under there. Here and there, and there's the piggy in the middle, you see. While you've got it apart, it can be a good idea to clean the pinch roller. The pinch roller on one of these is inside the cartridge. It's not like a cassette or a reel-to-reel where it's part of the machine. And they can get pretty gungy, but that one doesn't look too bad. Some of them were actually made of solid plastic, not rubber, so Lord knows how they thought the thing was going to drive, because it must have been, there's no friction, is there? Madness. Anyway, make sure the tape is in the correct path, make sure there's nothing nasty inside the housing. There's a bit of dust there I don't like the look of. I didn't like the look of him at all, that little bit. About as welcome inside that 8-track cartridge as Peter Mandelson would be in my house, or any of these other bastard politicians. Right, that's it, he's snapped back together. So now for a quick detour. We go and find ye olde Amerex. And hey presto, what problems? That's another one fixed. Thought I'd let you have a look at the 8-track machine. I know those of you out there who drool over them would like a look. Anyhow, bye for now.